Okay, here we go. So I'm out and free now. I'm on a road with almost no stoplights. And this is what I want. I want to ride free. Without a care in the world. I think that's what everybody wants, is to ride free without a care in the world. Everything needs to be going right. Tell you one thing, next time I go to change a tire, take out a valve stem, I'm going to put a little bit of lubricant on the O-ring, because I've done a good job of changing tires, yet they just don't hold air over time. They all tend to seep down to 20 pounds. And I'm sick and tired of having to check tire pressure on every bike. We're heading east on Auburn Folsom Road. This takes you up into the foothills. It's a fairly pleasant cruise. I'm getting quite a late start. It's already 12 o'clock. But that's all right. I don't have to make this a big, long day. So while you're out riding your bike, you might wonder all the time, what else can go wrong? what else could I have as a failure? That's why back home, you go over all those things and try to make sure you got it dialed in right. But you never know when something's gonna break. So there's three things that I could think of that I could do to further try to alleviate this dead fire thing. One, the pulse code modulator, or the pickup module, specs out way over factory specs, but they don't even allow you an adjustment. There's no adjustment on the darn thing. I do have a brand new one on here, and that did not solve my problem. So with some modifications to the bracket where it bolts down, I could get the proper specification. That's one thing. Two is have a completely new cam chain slider, and cam chain tensioner with spring. This way we can discount that there's any possibility that we're having some kind of valve timing issue. Because when I get a dead fire, it also seems to coincide with a, not a backfire, but a bit of a blowout of gas fumes out the carburetor. So instead of going the one way, it backs up and goes the other way for one fire. And that could be due to irregularities in the cam chain. I mean, I'm no big motorcycle motor analysis kind of guy, but you know, I've laid in bed for hours trying to think of what could be my little problem. And so when this motor comes time for a rebuild, which it was just rebuilt, but it's going to have to be done again. When it comes time, it's going to have all new parts as best as I can do. I'm having a motor built right now, and it's a battle to get anybody to put new parts in it. Oh, you don't need a new part. I'm sick and tired of it. Put a new part in there. I want brand new parts. You know, and I started this bike up today. I hadn't run it in a while, and just hearing the motor doesn't sound as good as I want it to hear. Doesn't sound as good as I want it to sound. In other words, riding along, I hear a bit of a knocking sound. I mean, it's not bad parts, bad clearances or anything like that, but it just doesn't sound knock free, if you can call it that. And then number two, my motors that do run good have a whirling sound in their top end cam chain type stuff. So I just got to think, without knowing, that this motor has the old original 1991 cam chain slider, and it's time for a new one. And cam chain tension or springs get old. I need more tension. If you're getting looseness in your cam chain, it's foreseeable that you could have valve timing be off. And if valve timing's off, that could lead to the backfire scenario, if you want to call it that. If it ain't firing just right and gas is escaping past the intake valves or something, you could get this kind of a thing. Is all I can figure. The only real discount to those thoughts is the fact that putting a brand new stator on, where I had a 3,000 mile stator in there, solved my problem. And again, it solved the problem, but only for 300 miles, and I started doing it again. So it's probably not as bad as it was, but it's pretty close. And so then as far as checking stators, and ohms of resistance, this isn't got the same resistance that it had when I first bought it before I installed it. And the one I took out has even less ohms resistance. They say when a stator goes bad, the bike won't start. Well, I think that I may have found that when a stator goes bad, it can manifest itself in a dead fire every once in a while. That is, unless, of course, it's a cam chain problem. And so, all in all, that's why I'm having a motor rebuilt, and I want the motor to be brand new. I'm tired of messing with all this stuff, and I just want to ride free, uninhibited. I want to have a delightful time. Excuse me. Yeah, we've gotten into some traffic here on the byway. Even a red light coming up.
St. Luke's Episcopal Church, huh?